Welcome to the Profile Corner. In today's video, I thought we'd try something a little bit different and take a look at a couple other YouTube channels that you may find to be interesting. These are channels that I've found interesting over the last 2 or so years, and I've subscribed to their channels. And you might like the videos on those channels if you like the videos that appear on my channel. In general, these YouTube channels do not have a shop that looks like a TV studio. They're shops that were put together more than likely through 10 to 50 years of collecting of tools and materials, and so their shops are not in perfect condition. In general, these YouTube channels do not place paid advertisements directly into their videos that they record. Most of the YouTubers that I'm going to be listing here in just a moment are happy to learn about new things from viewer comments, as well as teach what they know about the craft. Most of these YouTube channels also try to avoid giving the impression that just about any woodworking project may be completed in 10 to 15 minutes. Some of the channels actually specialize in long-form videos that show you all the steps in the process. And more than likely, the majority of the people that operate these other YouTube channels also have much more woodworking experience than I do. At the end of this video, I'll include some video clips showing a battery-operated snowblower, essentially a glorified vacuum cleaner, trying to attack some snow in the driveway. There were just a handful of people that normally watch my videos that were interested in seeing that, and I didn't really want to post a separate video just showing that. I don't want my channel to be known as a snowblowing channel, and so I'm just including it at the end of this video. Up first is Honey Badger Woodworks. I'm surprised that she does not have well over 100,000 subscribers to her channel. She's been on YouTube for at least 8 years from what I've seen. She uses a radial arm saw extensively as a professional woodworker that does all sorts of different types of projects, ranging from everything from a sculpted raccoon holding a boombox that was partially carved using a chainsaw, all the way up to a kitchen remodel and a sunroom remodel. So she does a wide variety of different projects in her shop. She has just a basic small shop. It's roughly 20 feet by 20 feet in size, with a grizzly table saw, an old Craftsman radial arm saw, a Delta hollow chisel mortiser, a drill press, and a few other tools. She does not yet own a jointer, even though she's been doing woodworking for quite a few years. Like many of the woodworkers that I'll be mentioning later, she seems to prefer using mortise and tenon joints, box joints, and also dovetail joints, rather than resorting to time-saving joints such as using a Craig pocket hole jig. The second YouTube channel is Woodworking with Jerry. According to what he's posted in different videos, he was previously an engineer and also did professional woodworking for roughly 10 years, and now he's in retirement and he takes on certain projects, including a Maloof-styled high chair, as well as a built-in cabinet system with a Murphy-style bed. He's also done a number of other types of projects that are both small and large in scale, as well as providing instructional videos showing the proper use of a jointer, a bandsaw, and a table saw, after noticing people on YouTube using those tools either incorrectly or unsafely. His presentation style reminds me a lot of Norm Abrams' presentation style, which says a lot, and you may want to check out his channel. He has a highly polished video editing style that's quite impressive. Next up is Hobby Hardwood Alabama Sawmill. The two people that run the sawmill, which is a multi-million-dollar operation, were both engineers prior to retiring, and they're doing the sawmilling practice in their retirement years. I believe that he was once a rocket scientist, and his wife actually worked for NASA prior to retirement. The videos on the channel cover a wide variety of topics, including how to judge moisture content and equilibrium moisture content of your area, the difference between air-dried and kiln-dried lumber, and why you may want to favor kiln-dried lumber, reading the ends of logs to understand stress that's built up inside the log so that when the log is sawn, it's less likely to actually distort during the cut. So it actually equalizes the stress that's in the log so that the boards end up flat when they're cut. He's also explained why flat sawing a log, starting at the top of the log, going all the way through the pith of the log, down to the bottom of the log, usually results in inferior lumber. While his focus seems to be mainly helping out small sawmills, he also provides excellent, useful information for woodworkers as well. And if you like the Hobby Hardwoods channel, you may also like Hill Custom Lumber. He used to release weekly videos showing what he does in his sawmill operation, as well as his Christmas tree operation. But as of about a month ago, he stopped posting those weekly videos. I believe that he said that he was concerned that he would end up repeating what he's already said in previous videos. Lumber Capital Log Yard may also be another channel that you may want to check out, where a family runs a sawmill and firewood operation. Next up is RLDR Custom Creations. This channel is operated by a former industrial arts teacher in Canada. Prior to entering teaching, he was a carpenter. He writes articles for at least one woodworking group. I believe he mentioned that he's been doing that for roughly 20 years now. In retirement, he still teaches homeschooled kids woodworking skills in his shop. I believe he has at least 8 lathes in his shop, as well as roughly that same number of scroll saws. He creates videos on a wide range of topics, usually 2 videos a week, showing what he's doing in retirement. In the last year, he's been focusing more on shop projects and things that he's getting accomplished in his shop, including reworking his lathe so that the handles are easier to grasp, adding on additional lights onto the lathe, putting a fence onto his resaw bandsaw so that it's safer to use for narrow cuts. He's also shown a couple wood turning projects that are quite interesting, at least to me. He's also taking the time to explain how to use the lathe as he's using it, which is also helpful. The unfortunate thing is that a year ago he included several videos showing snow throwing or mowing the lawn and things of that sort in his videos, and that's really distorted his YouTube algorithm in terms of attracting watchers that want to see woodworking content. So he's trying to overcome that right now. He's also showed how to perform repairs on various equipment, including those machines that are well out of service by several years. Sawdust Solutions with Buck is another channel that's recently exploded in popularity on YouTube. About 3 months ago, he put together a video showing his L fence and how to use it, and that video has attracted roughly 132,000 views, and it's bumped up his subscriber count significantly to over 10,300 subscribers in just a short amount of time. When I first found his channel, he was actually in the process of building his workbench using southern yellow pine. It's quite a large workbench that is impressive. He seems to be a humble guy who's willing to teach everything that he knows, and he's also willing to learn from viewer comments. And he mentions those comments in later videos. He's very quick to respond to comments that are attached to his videos. Shop Klutz is likely more of a tool collector, kind of like me with my router collection here, than a woodworker. Roughly 20 years ago, he bought a new left-tilt Delta Unisaw table saw. He's added in a 12-inch wide jointer and also a 20-inch wide planer, both made by Oliver. Now, this is not the Oliver that used to make heavy-duty industrial equipment. This is actually a company in Asia that's taken over the Oliver name. He bought a handful of Festool tools, including a domino, a track saw, and a few other items, before he actually found his true calling, which is finding vintage machinery and trying to restore it. Probably once he gets his shop filled up with all that vintage machinery fully restored, he'll probably switch over to doing videos showing woodworking projects, but he hasn't done that yet. He happened to find a new Delta 12-inch radial arm saw a few months ago that was still on the shipping pallet. It was missing a few parts, But he went all through that machine, taking care of the old grease and getting it up and running. He had to build a new table for it because the table boards were missing. That's kind of an interesting project that I followed along in his YouTube videos. It's my understanding that he also bought a long arm Delta 16-inch radial arm saw and a long arm Delta 18-inch radial arm saw that he's going to be restoring soon. He just put in a 15 horsepower phase perfect 3-phase converter into his shop as well to help power all that 3-phase equipment that he's been buying lately. He also bought an old sliding table saw that he's in the process of restoring. And at one point in his videos he mentioned that he's got a drill press that wouldn't fit through the doorway into his shop. And so he did the obvious thing. And what is that obvious thing? Well, it's one of the following. 1, he tilted the drill press on the pallet so that he could get it through the door. 2, he disassembled the drill press so that it would fit through the doorway. 3, he cut the shaft to the drill press so that it would fit through the doorway, and then he welded it back together again. 4, he cut down part of a shop so that he was able to slide the drill press in. You'll have to watch his videos to see which he actually did. Finally, the Essential Craftsman YouTube channel. The operator of that channel has been in construction for over 40 years now. He's recently switched over to trying to learn fine woodworking now that he's at retirement age. He's got a friend that helps him out with that. He just recently published a video that shows the workbench that he spent likely 2 years assembling. He actually cut down the trees that were used for the wood in that workbench. He's got a couple of videos out on YouTube that have over 2 million views, and he showed a project house being constructed from the ground up, including the site work preparation. So he's got a lot of interesting YouTube videos that I've been watching for years and years now. Okay, now a little bit more information about that battery-operated snowblower that was trying to tackle the snow in my driveway. It's a new Eco 28-inch 2-stage snowblower. It has 16-inch tall tires that are 5 inches wide. It has two 56-volt 12-amp-hour batteries. Near the starting location where the snowblower entered, I measured that the snow was at 11 inches deep. It went a bit deeper in spots out about halfway down the driveway. Over to the side of the driveway, the snow was as tall as the rear tires on the snowblower. The snow was very heavy and wet, sometimes called heart attack snow. I've previously shoveled this driveway by hand. As a matter of fact, I did that all of the last snow season. So this year I ended up buying a battery-operated snowblower as my first snowblower to see if that actually does a better job than hand shoveling. I was told that the Troy-built 24-inch snowblower that was picked up at a recent auction that was shown on this channel could not handle the snow because it was so thick and heavy. It couldn't actually eject the snow. So let's take a look at the video. The video is showing a driveway which is roughly between 120 and 130 feet, and I made 5 passes at 28 inches wide each. So the driveway ended up at about 11.5 feet wide once all the snow was cleared. Unfortunately, the batteries in the snowblower died before I was able to complete the turnaround section of the driveway, but I think that it still did a very impressive job. The snowblower was originally set to advance at the slowest possible forward speed, and also to have the motor that ejects the snow set very low to conserve battery power. However, the snowblower ended up stalling out multiple times about halfway down the driveway, and so I had to set the secondary stage impeller at maximum speed to eliminate the snow. After the first pass down and back, I set up a second camera that could capture the action a little more closely toward the end of the driveway. Here's the video clips now. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.